Gnome 50 has finally arrived, and it's not just another routine update, it feels like a turning point. A release where the developers clearly listened to what users have been asking for over the years and actually delivered on it. If you've been following the Gnome ecosystem for a while, you'll know that every release brings incremental improvements, but this time the changes feel deeper, more intentional, and far more aligned with real-world usage. From performance upgrades to long-requested features and a bold architectural shift, Gnome 50 is shaping up to be one of the most important releases in the project's history. Right from the start, the most striking change is the complete transition to Wayland. Gnome has officially dropped support for X11, and that's a massive decision. This isn't just a technical detail, it represents a philosophical shift toward modern computing standards. Wayland has been the future for a long time, but now it's no longer optional. Everything in Gnome 50 is built around it, and that means better performance, smoother animations, improved security, and a much more consistent experience across different hardware setups. For users, this translates into a desktop that feels faster and more responsive, especially in scenarios like multi-monitor setups or high refresh rate displays. And speaking of performance, this is another area where Gnome 50 truly shines. The developers have clearly put in a lot of work optimizing how the desktop handles rendering, especially when it comes to GPUs. Nvidia users, who have historically faced issues on Linux desktops, will notice a significant improvement. The handling of discrete GPUs is more efficient, and frame scheduling is smoother, which means fewer stutters and better overall fluidity. Even if you're not using Nvidia hardware, the improvements to how Gnome manages graphical workloads are noticeable. Animations feel tighter, transitions are cleaner, and the entire desktop environment feels more polished. But what really makes this release stand out is how many of these changes are directly tied to user feedback. For years, Gnome has sometimes been criticized for making decisions that didn't always align with what users wanted. Gnome 50 feels like a response to that criticism. It's not just about adding flashy features, it's about refining the experience in ways that matter. One example of this is the improved handling of remote desktop sessions. Remote access is something that more people rely on today than ever before, and Gnome 50 makes it significantly better. You can now run headless sessions, meaning you don't need a physical display connected to access your system remotely. On top of that, high DPI support ensures that everything looks crisp and usable, even on modern displays. Another major addition that highlights this user-focused approach is the introduction of parental controls. This is something that hasn't traditionally been a strong focus in Linux desktop environments, but Gnome 50 changes that. Now, users can manage screen time, set bedtimes, and restrict access to certain applications for child accounts. It's a feature that brings Gnome closer to what you'd expect from mainstream operating systems, making it more accessible for families and shared environments. It's also a sign that Gnome is thinking about a broader audience, not just developers and enthusiasts. The Nautilus file manager, which is a core part of the Gnome experience, has also received meaningful updates. These aren't just cosmetic changes, they directly impact usability. For example, the ability to configure grid view captions gives users more control over how their files are displayed. Thumbnail rendering has been optimized, making it faster to browse through folders with lots of media files. Memory usage has also been reduced, which is always a welcome improvement. These changes might seem small on their own, but together they make a noticeable difference in everyday usage. Accessibility is another area where Gnome 50 makes significant progress. The Orca screen reader has been enhanced with better Wayland support, ensuring that users who rely on assistive technologies can fully benefit from the new architecture. There are also improvements to global setting profiles, making it easier to customize the experience based on individual needs. This focus on accessibility is crucial, as it ensures that Gnome remains inclusive and usable for everyone, regardless of their abilities. One of the more interesting updates in Gnome 50 is the Revamped PDF viewer, now known as Papers. This isn't just a simple document viewer anymore, it's becoming a more powerful tool for interacting with PDFs. Users can now add free text annotations, draw directly on documents, and highlight important sections. These features make it much more practical for tasks like studying, reviewing documents, or collaborating with others. It's another example of Gnome expanding its core applications to better meet user needs. Despite all these improvements, there are also some things that didn't make it into this release. One of the most anticipated features was Session Save and Restore, which would allow users to pick up exactly where they left off after logging out or restarting. Unfortunately, this feature has been pushed back to GNOME 51. While it's disappointing, it also shows that the developers are prioritizing stability and quality over rushing features out the door. Given how polished GNOME 50 feels overall, it's clear that this decision was made with the best intentions. Another subtle but important aspect of GNOME 50 is how it handles consistency across the desktop. With the full adoption of Wayland, many of the inconsistencies that existed between different components are being addressed. This leads to a more unified experience, where everything works together seamlessly. Whether you're switching between applications, connecting external displays, or using touch input, the behavior is more predictable and reliable. The improvements to multi-monitor support are particularly noteworthy. In previous versions, managing multiple displays could sometimes be a frustrating experience, especially when dealing with different resolutions or refresh rates. GNOME 50 handles these scenarios much better, thanks to the underlying Wayland architecture. Displays are detected more accurately, scaling works more consistently, and the overall experience is much smoother. For users who rely on multi-monitor setups for productivity, this is a huge upgrade. Security is another area that benefits from the move to Wayland. Unlike X11, Wayland has a more modern security model that prevents applications from accessing each other's input and output without permission. This reduces the risk of certain types of attacks and makes the desktop environment more secure by design. While this might not be something users notice directly, it's an important improvement that enhances the overall reliability of the system. It's also worth mentioning how GNOME 50 improves the overall feel of the desktop. There's a level of polish here that wasn't as apparent in previous releases. Animations are smoother, transitions are more refined, and the interface feels more cohesive. This might not sound like a big deal, but it has a significant impact on the user experience. A desktop that feels smooth and responsive is simply more enjoyable to use. At the same time, GNOME 50 doesn't try to reinvent the wheel. The core design philosophy remains the same, with a focus on simplicity and ease of use. What's changed is how well that philosophy is executed. The improvements in performance, stability, and functionality all contribute to a more complete and satisfying experience. Another interesting aspect of this release is how it positions GNOME for the future. By fully committing to Wayland and addressing long-standing issues, the developers are laying the groundwork for further innovation. This isn't just about what GNOME 50 offers today, it's about what it enables in the future. Features that were difficult or impossible to implement under X11 can now be explored, opening the door to new possibilities. As you spend more time with GNOME 50, it becomes clear that this release is about more than just individual features. It's about a shift in approach. The developers are focusing on what users actually need, refining the experience, and ensuring that the desktop environment is both powerful and accessible. It's a combination that has the potential to attract new users while also satisfying long-time GNOME fans. In the end, GNOME 50 stands out as a release that delivers on its promises. It's not perfect, and there are still areas that can be improved, but it's a significant step forward. The transition to Wayland, the performance enhancements, the new features, and the overall polish all come together to create a desktop environment that feels modern, reliable, and user-focused. For anyone who has been waiting for GNOME to fully embrace its potential, this release is a clear indication that the project is moving in the right direction. It shows that the developers are listening, adapting and continuously working to improve the experience. And if this is what GNOME 50 looks like, it's exciting to think about what future releases will bring.